It's the 1st of February 2026, and do you know what? I'm absolutely gutted. Why doesn't bonsai play by the rules? Why doesn't weather play by the rules? Do you know what? A week ago, we were sub-zero temperatures. All the buds on this were looking ever so small, and I thought, great. I've got at least another 3 weeks before I need to thread graft. So what changed? Well, simply, the weather did. And now those buds have split away from the branch. Nice, healthy, warm, definitely ready to burst, but unfortunately, massive size to create a thread graft hole. So am I going to wait till next year? Or have I got a crafty little solution? Watch on, find out. Hi, it's Xavier. Welcome to a bonsai retreat. And it's the 1st of February 2026, and I've got this challenging but definitely developing Italian Alder. I've already said to you, I love Italian Alder. In fact, I love so many different trees, but this is also great for beginners because it produces so many buds. It's so forgiving when you do pruning. Maybe not so forgiving when you leave the wire on too long. That's a bit of a pain, but it gives you options because right beside that horrible scar, there's a lovely great bud there. There's also lower buds here. I could actually remove the entire top and start again. But we're not here for that. We're here to find out what am I going to do about the problem I've encountered with this thread graft branch to be, which I decided not to do before Christmas because I thought I'd have time. Well, the buds have been swelling because we've had a week of pretty warm temperatures. Now, for those of you who haven't seen this tree before, there is a little playlist for it. I think it comes under one of my sort of challenging nursery plant to bonsai series. This has got a lovely root base. It is healthy, it's developing well, but it's got this horrible, I didn't like this crescent shape here, which I've talked about. In fact, do you know what? Rather than me go over and over again, have a look in the playlist. There'll be a link in the description or even a video up there just to get yourself back up to speed with this one. I've had it since 2015. Pretty rapid growing. So, tell you what, we're going to do this thread graft. What do we need? We need some nutmeg, high quality cocktail sticks. These are going to get jammed into the oversized hole that I'm going to have to make. We need some good cut paste or cut putty. Definitely a cut putty, and this one, as you know, I use from Notion Bonsai. Link to getting it will be in the description. It is good stuff. I've been using it for 18 months now. We need some recycled wire or something that we can support the branch with, so once we've got it in place, there's no jiggery, it doesn't move about. We need some form of variable drill. In this case, I'm actually going to use my Dremel, and I've got an appropriate diameter drill bit, which I'm going to put in there. It goes without saying. Safety glasses, earmuffs, gloves, extra woolly jackets, I don't know, all the sort of safety stuff to stop you hurting yourself. So to do this, first of all, I've worked out that I want the branch to come out from here, which means I need to put the entry point in for the drill this way. I'm just going to push a little pilot hole with this this drill bit so that when I get the heavy duty drill going in there, and by the way, you can use variable speed, but I will say this, I have found that I've done it both variable, slow, fast, just so you put some pretty solid pressure on it, goes through all right. In fact, while we're here, let's talk about what exactly is happening with the thread graft. Are we actually expecting all the center core and all that to actually graft with this? Do we need to take a little slither of bark off the cambium of the thread? Well, actually, I've found no. And what's actually happening is we're looking for in that top 1 millimeter where the cambium of the trunk is, over a period of time, as this branch expands, gets bigger, fatter, which is what we want to happen. The way we let that happen is we let this growth continue to grow right through the growing season. As it gets fatter and fatter, it will eventually interact with the hole that's been jammed into. Slowly, the outer, the longer branch should expand, and that will then naturally open up the two cambiums. They will combine at the top level, in that sort of top few millimeters where all the growing power happens. It isn't actually, I mean, it may well expand in the center there, but it's not actually going to form any viable link with the tree, because that's the heart or the dead wood. So we're not actually getting in there, the core of the tree. What we're looking for is that top 4 or 5 millimeters to form a great big fat collar. And that's also how we know whether it's safe to separate. So most of the work that's happening is in that top few millimeters, which is why you need the wire to keep this very, very secure. That's the science. Let's crack on and drill some holes. Now all I want to do is just clean that up a little bit. And as I say, what we're looking is for the collar to form around this green area. That's going to take time, but I do want to get rid of any loose debris that may hinder what I'm trying to achieve. And as I say, that's quite a big hole when you look at what we're trying to put through. So we've got the hole drilled. Now, what I intend to do is use this grafting tape, which is stuck to my fingers, right, and then very, very tightly apply it to this. So what I'm going to do is push those buds down, but also hopefully give myself a much smoother ride through that hole. So I'm going to continue to wrap this with the tape and come back when it's done. They're all wrapped now, so those buds are flat in, but it means I should hopefully be able to thread without any chance of kicking those buds back up. So here we go. As I say, what I want is to have buds near the exit point on this. And let's see how many we can actually pull through. Now there's no doubt that if I hadn't been able to keep these pushed down, we would have been in loads and loads of trouble. And these, let's have a look and see where I think we've got healthy ones here and here. So I'm just going to remove this grafting tape carefully, but you can see that's the branch, and then we'll remove that in a minute. And look at those lovely, unaffected, healthy buds, which is where we want the growth. And all I've got to work out is exactly where's the safest place, because really they're the buds I want. So I probably want them in a bit closer. That's a healthy bud, that's in a good place. Okay, so we're probably, I want that bud and that bud. We probably want to pull this back just a little bit. That one looks dead, unfortunately, so we won't get anything from that. That's what we want. Now we've actually got quite a big hole there, so I'm going to jam some of these in there. What we don't want to do is go to all this trouble and then cut the actual branch. So there's the one in place. Then all we're going to do, get some cut paste, and we're using this primarily to keep it sealed, to stop any infections getting in there, to stop it getting too damp or anything like that. And that should do enough to keep it secure. All I need to do now is orientate the branch so that two little buds there, just going to give what I want. As you can see from there, nice and smooth there. We've got the wire coming around. We've got a nice bud that's going to be here on the horizontal. Another bud out to the front. I've got this sloping upwards because we want this to go up towards the light. And as we take it further round, again you can see going slightly upwards, bud on this side, and then we've got that going up. And that, hopefully, will give us a really good thread graft using the grafting tape method to keep those big buds down and protected. All I need to do is get some cut paste in there and keep that protected. The only trouble with cut paste in the winter is it's a lot harder to get it all soft and pliable. So let's get this all around there and really protect that entry point. So there we go, there's the front, it's all sealed in, and probably with this branch coming up this way, we've got a nice, basically 300-degree radial from up top. This one is a bit of a problem, but thankfully if we get in close we can see there's another bud there, and that's going to make my next move dead simple. We don't want this coming across what will be the front, so let's just cut this back to there. Just put a bit of cut paste on there just to seal that end. And that's done. Do you know what? We're going to have to wait till probably September, but these are so vigorous that I would imagine this is going to be a roaring success, even with that large diameter hole I had to drill. So we'll let that develop. The only thing we want to look at in the future, look, we're going to get some frosts again sometime in the next 4 weeks. We always get it in March. I have to be prepared. This will stay in a protected place underneath the benches outside the side of the house by a wall or by the fencing. Right there it can be protected, and I may even, when I know we're going to get some -1 or 2, actually just bring it indoors where the indoor trees head for just a couple of days. Am I bothered if that activates the buds and sends them sprawling out a bit earlier? Of course not. I just got to make sure that unexpected frost or cold snap we do get in a few weeks' time doesn't ruin all the hard work. So hopefully you're going to find this new approach, and I think it's new, to getting your thread grafts in when the buds have started to swell, using a bit of grafting tape and a little bit of patience, of benefit. Let me know in the comments if you have. And if you want to see this video in full, well, you know there is a full video. You just need to go to the long form. It's well worth it. Lots of detail. You'll love it. Happy bonsaiing. Cheers.